Boxing, coming to the ring at this time, the challenger, Craig Cummings.
Well, what a moment this is for Craig Cummings, who calls himself Kid Fire. Basically, he's a Midwest boxer who's been handed a wonderful opportunity. But he's only lost 2 of his 36 contests to date, though, the league that he is being asked to operate in tonight. 29 years of age, from Kansas City. He earns £25,000 a year as a Kansas City fireman. Well, tonight he's earning something like £40,000.
It's a big test for him to fight a fighter like Steve Collins, who's very intense, very aggressive. I don't think he's ever going to see anything.
Cummings' weight, that's the interesting thing here. He's giving away nearly half a stone to a big, strong super middleweight like Steve Collins. He says that Steve Collins has only lost 3 times, and every time at world level. They're fighting for the super middleweight championship of the world as recognized by the World Boxing Organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Warren and Sports Network Europe, in association with Alec and Catherine Morrison, along with sponsor John Walker, present 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Supervisor Simon Block, Scottish Representative Brian McAllister, and the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Barcarcel, Supervisor at ringside tonight, Vice President Mr. Gene Glenn. Your timekeeper at the bell is Jim Russell. The 3 judges assigned, scoring the bout on a 10-point must system, will be Paul Thomas, Mickey Van, and Roberto Ramirez. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Roy Francis. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from the fantastic city of Glasgow, Scotland, let's get ready to rumble! In the red corner, wearing red trimmed with the stars and bars, his weight, 11 stone, 7 pound, 1/4 ounce. His professional record, an outstanding 36 bouts with 34 victories, including 28 wins by knockout with only 2 defeats. Fighting out of Kansas City, Missouri, USA, here is the number 6 ranked WBO challenger in the world, Craig Kid Fire Cummings.
He really does. They said there may be problems with motivation. It doesn't look like it at this point. He certainly looks motivated.
Due to go 12 rounds, can Craig Cummings cope with the rough, tough, strong, gritty style of Steve Collins? Well, he's got Collins over. What about that for him in his career in that exchange? And Craig Cummings can certainly smell a sensation. He lets go another left hand and another right. What about this in the first round? Steve Collins is absolutely stunned. So is the crowd. So is Glenn McCrory alongside me. Cummings seems to have a bit of a mark underneath the right eye, and a right hand decks him. They've both been down in the opening round. There is no shortage of action in this first round. And Steve Collins is floored. Down goes.
That was a good knockdown from Collins, who was starting to get his jab and then got a combination behind.
Even heavier as they come into the ring.
Well, Cummings certainly proven one thing. He's not afraid to have a fight with somebody as good as Steve Collins.
Gutsy, isn't he?
Very, very gutsy.
And he's too easy to hit. And Collins is such a good technician that he'll make him pay for this, you feel sure. But then Cummings comes back with his own left hook, and that made Collins stand off for a moment. Could this American still conceivably be dangerous?
Well, he's very, very gutsy. He's took an awful lot of punches in this round. Referee having a very good look at him there. A little bit again, he lands with a good left hook.
Collins is getting through to him here. The referee wants to step in, and he's called it off. It is over in the third.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Roy Francis calls this bout to a halt. The official time, 1 minute, 17 seconds into round number 3. The winner by knockout victory and still WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the Celtic Warrior, Steve. And a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this young man who came to us as a challenger with his fists ready and began a great first round. Let's hear it for Craig Cummings.
Well, the guy came here with a record with a lot of knockouts. People said he could punch. I said, well, I don't think so. I went out, I underestimated his power. The guy hit very hard. I mean, I've been in there with Ben, been in there with Eubank, been in there with the big punches. This kid hit as hard, if not harder, than these guys. But he surprised me. He was faster and a harder puncher than I expected, and he caught me napping. You know, and that's the thing about this business. Never underestimate your opponent. If I'd have listened to the public in the crowd, I'd have went in there and I could have lost my title. I respected him, and I actually respect him more now after the fight than I did before the fight. I've learned the hard way.
How worried?
Four-time boxer fights Mike Bryan at the Kansas City Market Center. This is his first fight since losing to super middleweight world champion Stevie Collins back in July. Cummings knocked the champ down twice in